This nibble originally aired on RSBANDB Update, episode 779, Expansion by Ninja. Enjoy. Updated the wording in multiple settings and added checkboxes to improve user flow. And now here's the big one. Options on the gameplay settings menu have been divided into more refined subcategories for easier navigation. And the best part about this, we get this on the desktop client too. So now you have interfaces, and then under that you have things like game interaction, appearance, which controls the transparency of the menus, title bars, slim headers, and so on, information windows, warning screens, inventory, buff bar, game clock. Combat and action bar has their own settings section now, which includes toggling on and off of Revolution and Legacy combat mode, action bar settings, action bar binding, combat XP, how you're going to get your combat XP, the attack options for mousing over players and NPCs, targeting, which is a little bit more important on mobile than it is on PC, and then finally hit splats. Camera settings section, which deals with the camera system, which is, of course, the camera mode, so like Modern, Classic, Freedom, and Freedom Classic, as well as zoom sensitivities. Then you got sensitivity for the keyboard and mouse for the camera. Skills and experience, combat XP, then pretty much every skill that had a settings section from archaeology, construction, fishing, mining. Slayer, the Slayer settings have been moved in here, including the Slayer log, as well as virtual leveling and Grace of the Elves, messaging and social, item drops, and then legacy. This is perfect. You remember our biggest gripe about the settings was, or maybe it was my biggest gripe, is that you had certain settings that were repeated in two or three different places. And as far as I can tell here now, the only settings that is duplicated is the combat XP setting, being both under combat and action bar and under the skills section. So all in all, this is a massive improvement because, you know, one of the ones you could do before was the Slayer log. You could turn the Slayer log, the Slayer counter on or off in three different spots. Now it's only under the Slayer skills settings.
Yeah, that's good. Well, and we talked about that in one of the
monthly bits. Yeah. And, it took a while to get to this point, but, this needed to be done, and this was years, I say, years it need. I think ever since RS3 came out in 2013, they needed to do this, honestly. So I am very pleased with this.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
And it's a lot more logical, too, because you're not always guessing of where it's going to be. Right?
Yeah. And that's helpful. Especially when you don't know necessarily and you're just trying to figure stuff out,
Yeah. And, this is a new throning moment where I have to say this is probably my patch note of the year at this point.
Oh. All right.
Because it just needed to be done, and this has bothered me for so long. So that's my patch note of the year.
Well, there you go. You heard it here first.
You can watch full episodes of RSBANDB Update right here on this YouTube channel. You can also listen to audio versions of RSBANDB Update at update.rsbnb.com, and feel free to subscribe to our show and any number of podcast listeners out there at update.rsbnb.com/subscribe.